Awesome. Hey guys, thank you all for logging on again this evening for this training, which we're basically going to talk about how to run Facebook events. Now, Facebook events is something that I've done since I've started doing the Juice Plus business, and it has made a big impact for me for my global business. So for those of you who aren't aware of who I am or who haven't met me before, I'm Luce Hawkins, originally from the UK, moved over here about 4 years ago, and I joined the business 2 years into living in Australia. I didn't have that many connections here. Most 80% of my connections are in the UK. Now, running live events in Perth, inviting people from the UK is just never going to happen. So we needed to think of a different way, and it was actually Caitlin and Abby that shared this concept with me. I'd logged onto a few of theirs and thought, I'm going to give this a go. This can really work. So first of all, I do talk really quickly and I don't apologize for that. I would much rather you guys leave this training and go, oh my God, there was so much information. I need to watch the recording again so I can catch up, instead of coming off here going, oh, there wasn't really enough for me. I don't really get it. I don't really know what's going on. So, and if I make any sudden movements, I am 6 months pregnant and baby is doing a bit of a turn this evening and has taken a liking to the top of my ribs. So if there's some funny jolts, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just baby's having a bit of a turn. So starting off, I was going to do a script. So I was going to put a script together for you all to follow, and I was going to email it out. But I've kind of decided that kind of takes away from your own creativity and your own ideas, and then everybody's event becomes the same. So I've decided not to do that, and what I can do is I'm going to show you a really successful event that I did with Val. That was one of the most recent events that I did online, and you can use that as inspiration for your own, and I'm going to give you some key tips on what to include in these events. But I really want you to go away and create your own scripts and make it all about you, because what works well on my events is not necessarily going to work well with yours, because you're all going to have a different audience. So, why Facebook events? They do and do not replace live events. You can never replace that physical connection of going to a live event. However, if like me, you're trying to go global and you haven't got the budget to fly to these places and run events, then these are a really good way to do it. They're easy to log in from home. You do them from wherever you want to. And because Facebook has such a brilliant calendar sync, if you do these Facebook events, it reminds people that your event is basically coming up, which is fantastic. So what is a Facebook event? It's basically an online event, usually lasting for an hour, where people accept the invite to your event and follow the notifications and the posts that you put to the page. So for example, if you guys are having a housewarming, for example, and you wanted to invite all your friends, you probably create a Facebook event for it, invite everybody along, tell them where it is, and so on and so forth. It works exactly the same in the way that you create the event. However, you post and go live and do videos in the comments and on the wall of the event. So you're not actually inviting anyone to go to a specific place, but you're inviting them to get involved and join on the event with you. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. My recommendations, I'm going to show you, I've got a step-by-step guide that I came up with this morning on how to create and how to run them, and then I'm going to read that at the same time as showing you an actual physical event. But just a few recommendations for you guys before going into that. So my biggest recommendation is that you run this event with someone else. Have a co-host with your event. Reason why, I've tried to do these myself because I'm like, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need anyone to help me with this kind of thing. Oh, well, if you have 300 people log on and they're all commenting and they're all talking and they're all asking you questions and you're trying to get ready with the next post, I had my iPad going, I had my laptop going, I had my desktop going, and I was trying to log in and I lost my train of thought. I got confused with what I was posting. And to be honest, it looks better when there's a couple of people running it because you've got that second validation from someone else. And also you might be running an event, for example, 6 months ago, if I was running a Mummies on a Mission event, well, no one's going to listen to me because I'm not a mum. So having someone else join me who is a mum, for example, Val, was good. It gave me a bit more credibility, and it also gave my following someone else to listen to. So if you can, try and have a second person with you. They don't have to be live with you, you know, in person. Like, I don't have to have that person sat next to me. They can be logged on anywhere at all. And what you want that second person to do is to answer questions and comment on the posts. So you're the host, you're the person that posts and, you know, does all the videos and things like that. That's your responsibility, and that is a pretty full-on responsibility. If you've got about 15 posts going out in an hour, have the other person purely there to answer questions and direct people where they need to go. I normally like have a Zoom going at the same time as while I'm doing the event and talk to that person while I'm doing it, and it's easy enough to do that. Second one is have your script pre-written and make it so it's pretty much copy and paste. So I have everything in my notes section or a Word document, something like that. I usually have it in a notes section because while I'm planning these events, I've got notes on my iPhone, I've got notes on my iPad, and I've got them on my Mac. So as I'm thinking of posts, I'm writing them down and going, you know, putting them through as I go. So I don't just sit here, you know, for half an hour and write the script. I'm kind of building it as I go and leading up to the event. You're also going to want to pre-record the videos so you're not going live, purely because live is fantastic, but in an event it doesn't really matter. You know, lives on your personal page are great because everyone gets notified you've gone live. In the events it doesn't really work the same way, and you don't want to run the risk of your mic not working, your Wi-Fi going down, and you also will probably want to use videos from other people. So to get them before, then you're ready to go, all uploaded to your computer, then there's no problems. Don't post the link of your event publicly on your Facebook page. Now, that might sound a bit daft, and it might sound, most people go, oh, but it's the quickest way to get people interested. I can guarantee you have a lot of other Juice Plus people on your Facebook. And you also have your team. If you're opening up this event to your team to join as well, you're going to need them to invite people personally to the event so you know exactly whose potentials are who. Then if anybody else is on your event as an attendee and they don't have invited by underneath them, you know they're a new lead for you and there's something for you to follow up. If you're just blasting it on social media, on your profile, and so is all your team, if you've got someone who's in common with a few of your team, how are you going to know who that person, if they're interested, who that person goes to? And also kind of going on from that, if you do see someone outside of your team running a Facebook event, please don't automatically invite yourself to it and start adding all of your potentials to it. Politely ask that person if you're able to join and if you're able to include a few people. This is, I am speaking from experience. I ran one about 4 months ago, and someone who I didn't know found the event. It was on my Healthy Body Movement page, so it's totally fine. They were obviously a follower, but they added about 30 of their friends to it. Now, I didn't know this person. I didn't know they were in Juice Plus. I didn't know who they were. There was someone from the UK, and they were the only people who were interacting and asking questions. Now, technically, I could have used those people as a lead, followed up with them and sold to them, but it was a bit unethical for me to do that. And so once I researched this person, I realized they were in Juice Plus. I realized they were from the UK and someone else's team. And they pretty much got some, you know, I did all the hard work for them. And it was a bit, you know, I was a bit gutted, but I probably should have researched that person first and then sent them a message instead of hoping that they would ask me if it was okay to invite people along. So let me see, is that all of those ones? Yeah, that's all of my recommendations. So now I'm going to try and share my screen with you, and hopefully it's just showing. Is this just showing my Facebook page? Can I get, perfect, awesome. Not that I don't mind you seeing my script that I've written up on there, but it just takes away from that. So this is an event that me and Val ran in April, and it was one of my most successful events that we've run. Now, first of all, so I've got about 15 tips for you guys for running them. So number one is to make sure that the name is an attention-grabbing name and it's going to encourage people to click accept. Do not use Lucy's Juice Plus online event. No one's going to care. They're going to go, oh God, she's at it again. Use something like learn how to create healthy habits for summer. Or this one was healthy after school snacks. And we did it during the school period, I believe. And what Val wanted to come up with was how to teach people how to do a healthy snack and using the complete. So we joined together to try and get some more complete orders. And that was purely, this event was all about the shakes. So as you can see, online event, because it's a good idea to include the word online event in there so people don't automatically go, oh, I'm not available on April the 26th, so I can't come to this. Although guaranteed you're still going to get a lot of people message you that. So we did online event, creating healthy after school snacks. That was it. That's all we did. Secondly, you want to write a clear description of what your event's about. Give people an idea of what the event will talk about and how the event's going to work. So for example, here, we did the Lifestyle Creators and Healthy Body Movement presents creating healthy after school snacks. As parents, we know the struggles. You know, this is what our why was, this is our pinpoint. When our children return from school and they want to raid the fridge and the cupboard for the first snack they see. This online event is aimed to help parents with ideas for simple whole food snacks, which can keep your little ones happy. This is an online event with a mixture of posts and live feeds straight from Val's kitchen. Join us and feel free to invite others as it's an interactive event. If you cannot make the time, do not worry. This event will be open afterwards for those in different time zones. So that was just short, sweet. They know exactly what they're going to get. And hopefully they understand that it's a live event. So, third of all, location. So different to like your brick and mortar business where you have a physical location. So for example, the Saint, when we go to that on a Thursday night, you can run an event and you can say we're meeting at the Saint. This one I just popped the Healthy Body Movement in there, but normally I pop in here comfort of your own home or online. So it shows people that they don't actually have to travel anywhere to go and join the event. Number 4, event image. So spend time creating this image. I've looked back on the events that I did when I first started, and honestly, it shocked me. I cringed when I was looking at it because I grabbed a picture off Google, I threw it in, it wasn't the right size, it wasn't the right spectrum, it looked terrible, it wasn't even eye-catching, and it had Juice Plus written all over it. So just make sure that you have got something that's eye-catching. Take the time to do these events because it does make a massive difference. I haven't given you the size for this event, for this image here, just purely because it's different on different devices. So if you're making the event on a Samsung, on an iPhone, then you're doing it on desktop, it can come across, it's all different sizes, but when you do go on, it does actually tell you on Facebook what size this image can be. And if you're making them in Canva, which is where I make most of my images, it actually has Facebook event template. So number 5, optimize your Facebook event by including relevant keywords in your tags. So when you do, when you create the event, it will ask you all of the, where is it, what's the time, what's the date. It will also ask you to tag things. So the tags are basically, they're a little bit like hashtags, and it helps people find your events better. So for example, this event would have been tagged whole food, nutrition, snacks, kids, parents, all that kind of thing. Aim for about 5 tags if you can, and that will help if you're running this, especially from a business page. It will help other people find it, and it will help Facebook recommend your event to those people. So that's how you're going to get new leads. Make sure your event is public, so outsiders can come across your event. That's really, really important. You can have your event as private if you want to, if you literally just want to keep it a selected few that you've invited. But really the aim of these kind of events is to try and get new potentials and reach a new audience because you're doing it online. So to have it as public is pretty much where you want to go with that one. When you do have an option on here, when you're creating it, to only allow hosts to post to the event wall. So it asks you at the end, only allow hosts to post to the wall, or it says allow guests to post to the wall. Always have it ticked, allow guests to post to the wall, because this creates excitement, this creates interaction, this lets people know what's going on, it lets them ask questions. Like literally, I can guarantee someone's going to go, "Hi Lucy, really sorry, I'm picking up my kids from school at that time, I can't join this event." It always happens. And then I will comment, say, "Not a problem, it's an online event, it's going to be open for 48 hours, so you can log on anytime. So when you're home, you're going to bed, have a flick through, and we can follow up after that." Because that person's asked that question, then it's also answered it for other people. So that works quite well. Ooh, I'm getting a bit out of breath now. Number 8 is pin a post at the top of the wall. So you know how you would write your first, when you have a business page, for example, you can write a post and you can pin it to the top of the page. I normally do this as a bit of a countdown, or I pin to the top of the page the rules or how the event will work. So I'm just going to change this to discussion here. It won't have anything pinned at the moment because it's finished, but usually I would pin something like this first post here that Val did. I would normally pin that to the top, and that's the first thing people will see. Right, so let me just see if I'm, okay. Each post that you do will be numbered. So you want to make sure that you number the posts as you're doing them so people can follow it in order. So I'm going to show you here. So this was the event. I'm going to walk through the event with you now, what I've done, and then go on to a few little tips that we did. So what I did was, when we did the event, I said to Val, "Hey Val, can you go live onto the event page and explain to people what this event's all about?" And this was on the 21st. It was 2 days before the event. Got people excited, got people watching, had 53 views, you know, people were getting excited, and it explained everything. Perfect. Then what I did, so Sunny then posted some times. What I then did, I always encourage people to post a 24-hour notice. So, "Hey guys, 24 hours until this event goes live," because by posting to that, you've reminded those people who haven't accepted yet that there's an event on and they need to say whether they're going or not going. And also then 1 hour to go. So I sometimes just do a post of me on my sofa saying 1 hour to go, can't wait for you guys to join this event. I'm live from my sofa. Where are you guys going to be tuning in from? This one I just did I just did a quick video. And then here we go. So you can see here, this is the first post I did. And it started bang on, I think it was 7 o'clock. And it was numbered, hashtag number 1. So people know this is the first post. And these are basically for those who log on after the event's finished. You say to them, scroll to the bottom of the page and follow each post by number, because sometimes they can get all muddled up depending on which was the most popular. And then they can follow the event consistently as they would if they were live. So I basically put that we're live tonight from the Healthy Body Movement HQ and the Lifestyle Creators Kitchen. I've introduced myself, I've introduced Val, and then I've said how this event works. It's really, really important. You guys can take a picture of this, you guys can copy this, whatever, that you explain this is how the event will work. So we will be posting every 5 to 10 minutes with information and videos, and these will be numbered so you can keep up. This event will remain open for 1 week, so you can go back and listen to the videos and the information. You can change that to 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever you want to do. If you have any questions regarding tonight, please refer them to myself, Val, or the person who invited you to this event. They're the only 3 kind of how or rules that I do, and I include that in every event so people know what to expect. So then I went on from there. Number 2, I always ask where people are tuning in from. I don't really care, but it purely is there to create excitement and get people commenting. And it is interesting to see if there's a lot of other people who are out of Perth. So we had 18 comments in total, and we had Perth, Geraldton, you know, so on and so forth. And it also lets you know at the end of the event who was on live, so you can follow up and thank them. This is all, everything we do in here is all about the follow-up. If you do not follow up after the event, these events are totally pointless. Right, number 3, I basically just introduced Val. Then we went live. So this was an event which we did do lives from, because it was supposed to replicate being live in someone's kitchen, like a cooking show. And it worked really, really well. Val had a tripod, we tested it, everything worked, there was no problems with Wi-Fi, and I think Val took the phone off so if anyone called it wouldn't cut it off. So, and that's pretty much what we did. So as you can see, we're still going through. I was then the person who posted after Val went live with the recipe for what she's just done. So we're showing people 3 simple recipes, and then I followed up with some images that I created and so on and so forth. So I did a bit of the hosting and posting and then answering the questions, and Val was purely there to go live and do the stuff in her kitchen, and then she'd follow up later on. Whew, getting out of breath. So I think, so as you can see, this is how we ran it. We did 3 different ones, and then we got Val to go online and do what is the complete. She explained what the complete was. Then I came in with a special offer. So this is a really good way to entice people to join the event when you're promoting it to people. Join the event, because at the end we're going to do a special offer, you know, that only people who have joined the event can, you know, can grab, can take part in, you know, so on and so forth. So what we did was just did a quick special offer. Please send us a message, ask us questions. And that was it. I think that was my end post as well. Yeah, it was. So going on from that, just going back to my notes. Oh yeah, another thing that I enjoy doing and that I usually do in other events that I run, except for this one, that purely this one ran differently because we were going live. So we wanted to make sure the event didn't go on for longer than an hour. We tried to stick to a time frame, but I always add a poll into it. So you can see here, create poll. This is perfect when you're asking people, why are they joining? What are they trying to do to improve their health? You know, what's their kids' number 1 struggle, or what's your struggle getting your kids? And you'll put a few answers in there. People will then click what's most relevant and then probably also comment other things. This is literally the hottest lead you could possibly have. Because if someone clicks, I can't get kids to eat vegetables, well, you know, so many reasons why Juice Plus is going to help them with that. So that gives you basically a hot lead to talk to them after the event, follow up with them and say, you know, hey Jenny, thanks so much for joining the event tonight. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? You know, conversation. I noticed in the poll, you clicked that your biggest struggle was getting your kids to eat vegetables. You know, do you know why this is? It just all goes on from there. But if you're not going to follow up with them, then there's not much point doing those. So they're really, really good to do. There's just a couple more points and then I'm done. Post every 5 minutes if you can. This gives people enough time to read the post or watch the video. You don't want to put videos in that are more than really 2 to 3 minutes long, because be mindful that people might be watching these in bed, at work, you know, they can't log on for too long. So what I've done is post every 5 minutes. This gives people enough time to read the post, watch the video, without having to wait too long for the next one. And it also means that you're not doing too many posts within that hour. At the end, give a takeaway. Let them know what's the next step. How do they get in touch with you? Are you going to do another event? What are you going to be doing? Is there a website they can go to? So on and so forth. And then finally, make sure that you go back and check who's commented, who's put interested, who's put going, who put not interested, who invited people. So, you know, I'll get messages to the Healthy Body Movement. I'll be talking to those people, and while I'm talking to those people, I'll go back to my event and see who invited them if I don't recognize them. And I might think, oh, okay, Zoe's invited this person. I'm going to flick Zoe a quick message. Hey, Zoe, one of your potentials that you invited to the event is asking me about this, this, and this. This is what I've said. Are you happy for me to carry on talking, or shall I flick them back to you? You know, so on and so forth. So it's just, that's how they work well. There was one more thing that I was going to say. Oh, yeah. When you create the event, make it only an hour long at first. So this, when I started, would have been the 26th of April from 7 till 8 o'clock. Halfway through the event, then change it to finish later. So then I just added another week onto it. Because if you invite people to an event that's a week long, no one's going to log on at that time. So I say this is only going live between 7 and 8. Log on if you can. People will log on. But you expand it so it's still showing up in people's news feeds. It's still showing up in people's notifications for a week. And every time I log on to my events section, it's going to say currently, this event is currently on, and it's going to come up with this event. So it's going to, I do find a lot of inquiries and a lot of accepting of requests come after the events happened. The events don't disappear. So for example, if I had someone approach me about some healthy after school snacks, and you know, this was in April, I'd be like, oh, do you know what? I did a really, really good event, and I think you would really, really benefit from watching these videos. Let me just add you to this event. I'll comment on a couple of the posts, and they can still read it. So these events never go away unless you delete them. Although you do say to people, you need, you know, get the information while you can, because this event will end, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to stop sharing now. That is pretty much everything that I wanted to cover, I think. So I'm happy to open up questions if we have time, Tamara, or if anyone has anything they want to ask. I have seen it's going ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, there's quite a few questions, Luce. I'll roll back through them. And so Jess Phillips asked a question about what if you've got two people running. I think you kind of answered that in that, you know, you probably need to just go through each individual lead and qualify, you know, how they heard about it.
Yeah, and what I normally do is if I'm going to co-host an event, I normally ask my upline to help co-host it with me because, you know, as an upline, it's one of your responsibilities is to help your team. So I know, for example, if I was running an exclusive event and I asked Val, for example, to come and co-host it with me, and I told her about it, it would probably be likely that Val would invite a couple of her potentials if it was perfect, but otherwise everything would be open up to the person who is running the event. You might want to do it with your team members as well. For me, personally, sometimes I run ads to these events to try and get more, and I'll then decide whether those customers go to people in my team or whether I keep them for myself. It's totally up to you, but you probably wouldn't want to run one of these events with someone really, really distant out of your team if you're also running ads to it. If you're making it so you invite a selection of people, they invite a selection of people, and that's it, perfectly, works perfect, because it's unlikely that other people will join. But yeah, so that's my recommendation for that one.
That's good advice. Neha just asked, particularly in that event that you had, you offered a special discount. Did you actually offer a discount, or did you just, was it the standard price?
We just did the trial. I think it's 30-day trial pack.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think the question's about, oh yeah, I had a question. So I've always made mine private because I've always been very wary that opening it up publicly might open it up to trolls, people coming on who then have carte blanche ability to be quite negative. How do you manage that?
I suppose it's easy for me because I don't have a huge following. So for you, for example, tomorrow, if you did an event, because you've got such a massive following, it does open up to that, you know, wider people who are quite skeptic. Whereas it's never been too big for me to actually check out every single person that's accepted. So I do a bit of background into them, and if they look like the kind of person who's probably not gonna be open and accepting, obviously you're going to have to judge by their profile, but if you have a bad feeling, just remove them, just block them. It's not a problem. But if they start commenting, this is why it's good to have that second person. If they start going, this is rubbish, and rah, 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 just get that other person to block them. Then they disappear and then they're gone. That's literally what I do.
Good point. Yeah, always good to have a wingman in just about most situations.
That's it.
Cool. Now, does anyone else have any questions, Luce? That was an amazing walkthrough, a really great step-by-step. I loved your events. I've certainly taken away some tips myself. Does anyone else on here use Facebook events? I'm also quite curious. When I first started using Facebook events, probably about 12 months ago, I was very much a post with comment, so it was sort of the static posts. I've kind of now moved more towards the live feed, probably only because it takes much less organisation. A lot of it comes off the top of my head. What do you think? What's your balance on that? And does anyone else have comments?
I like doing a mixture of videos and posts. So, for example, doing a poll one is obviously just a post, and doing an introduction, I normally just do a bit of an intro about myself. I've done events where I've used other people's testimonials. So I've done, I've had Stacey do a 2 to 3 minute video that I got her to send me about taking Juice Plus just after having her first, breastfeeding, weight loss, that kind of stuff. And then I'll have someone else, I've had like Caitlin or Kim share their story. I've then shared my testimonial stories. So they're best in videos. I try not to make them too long, and I try not to do too many videos because I'm also wary that this is aimed at the UK audience for me. So I always do my events at 7, 8 o'clock at night here because I know it's lunchtime in the UK. So it means I think they can log on at lunch, or they can be a little bit sneaky, and watch it at their desk. But if there's too many videos, they're not going to be able to do that because they're not going to be paying much attention. So I try and mix it half and half. I probably do more posts than I do videos. But yeah, it's totally down to what you feel the vibe of the event needs to be.
Yeah, and with those videos, they're pre-recorded, so you pre-recorded them. So that's really good advice to everybody on here. If you have a group of people that you regularly work with, it's probably worth having a library of videos that you've recorded on MP3 or on Zoom, so that you can have those videos to share for the team. Obviously, the person who has given their permission for those videos to be used, but it's certainly of added value to everybody to be able to tap into those testimonials.
That's it. And I also use a few YouTube videos. So there are so many YouTube videos
Right.
that the Juice Plus company has done for us. So I'm not very good at explaining the ins and outs of what the complete is. I'm like, it's a chocolate or a vanilla shake. There you go. That's it. So I grab a quick 2-minute video from, most of them are US, but from the Juice Plus company to give that extra validation on, this is actually the company that's run this video, it's produced this video, and this is more scientific, but in a short space of time, to be able to explain it a bit easier. And then the work's done for you as well, so you don't have to then remake videos.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not reinvent the wheel when it's already been done. Great. Does anyone else have any other questions? Yeah, we agree. You're amazing.
Just trying to see.
So Neha's asked a question about which particular videos have you listened to? Oh, Neha, you can go to Juice Plus Australia. There's loads there. You can type in things like Farm Fresh Nutrition Juice Plus. There's a bucket load of videos just under that title.
I always use that one, Farm Fresh or Farm to Capsule. 100%. I pretty much use that video every time because it's so good to explain how vegetables are in the capsule. Like there's no other way to explain it except for that video. They're really good. But I literally just go on YouTube and go Juice Plus complete videos and just watch a few, and then I like tag some.
Yeah. Another great resource is the Mission Driven model, which is Julie Herb's model. She's got a lot of sort of pivotal videos in there. And the other one that I've recently come across are the Healthy Living Revolution videos that are all the healthcare practitioners as well. So that's some good resource there too. Cool. Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up. You've got last questions. Victoria, if you're only posting 2-3 minute videos.
Yeah, so if you're only posting 2 to 3 minute videos, you're literally posting loads. So what I do is I post, so for example, post number 4 might be, what is Juice Plus? And I'll do the Farm Fresh video. So I'll post that, and I have times against everything. So it'll be 7:20. I'll post number 4, and then I wait 5 minutes, go and do what I need to do, get the next post ready to go. Then at 5:25 or 7:25, I post the next video. And then in the background, obviously my co-host is answering the questions and doing things like that. So you only really get between 10 and 12 posts in an hour's event if you're doing a 5-minute block between them all.
Yeah, we actually we timed our event beforehand. So you're absolutely right, Luce, actually writing numbers down on the side. So it's time consuming to set it up, but then you've got the template and you can use it several times throughout the year.
That's it. I've got a template that I use, and I can literally put any topic whatsoever and I can fit it in that template. And I found that that's the template that works for me. And that's what I run with. It was different for this event that me and Val did because it was very much live, and it was really for both of our brands. We wanted to get the healthy body movement and lifestyle creators brands out there, but working together. Whereas if it's just, for example, I've got one going in January where I'm launching a new program with the healthy body movement, and I am using the exact same script I've used for every other one, but I'm just changing the words. So it will only take me maybe 10-15 minutes to really create the script and plug in those different videos.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Guys, this has been recorded. So